Welcome everybody to another edition of In Tune with tmill. I'm your host, tmill, live from the Rocket City. You will now be encouraged and entertained. Nothing will change until you change something. We're going to change the status quo today with a very special guest, someone that I'm fortunate enough to call a friend that I've known for some time, and we're talking about the arts. This month, we're talking about keeping the arts alive, why the arts are important, and who better to talk about the arts than Arts Huntsville and my friend Daniela. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Daniela's been a great friend, and I think if I ever need somewhere to hide, I'm going to call her up because she's been all over the woods and the mountains, so the forests, and she knows all the secret places to hide and stuff like that.
Yes.
How is that? Because I know you've been hiking, and where did that even come from? You know, this love and passion for hiking, because me 10 minutes into it, I'm probably like, you know what? I want to go back. I want to turn back. I don't know. So let's talk about that.
I was definitely at that point at one point in my life, but I come from a family that is very active and fit and outdoors all the time. My father has summited Mount Rainier. He's climbed it twice. He hikes the Appalachian Trail, sections of it every single year.
Wow.
He's kayaked the entire St. Johns River in Florida. He's just constantly outdoors.
Yeah.
And it finally took me going on a hike. It was my second time going on a hike on the Appalachian Trail last year.
Wow.
But I went and it just clicked. I'd done it before, and it was like, oh, I have to, pitch the tent, and I have to sleep on the ground, and I whined the whole time. But this past year I went, and I just came alive. It was, you're out there, it's silent. There's no noise. There's no phone, no social media. No one's trying to get in touch with you, and you don't care. It was amazing. And after that, I've just been seeking out, trying to get that feeling back. So I always try to hike when I get a chance. And we have the Land Trust of North Alabama has beautiful trails here, right outside your doorstep, down the street.
Because I had no idea some of these places were so close.
Yeah. Stonecuts Trail over on Montesano Mountain. You'll go out there and feel like you're just in a different world.
Wow.
You're walking among these huge, rocks and stones, and you get to climb in and under them, and it just really takes you away from all the hustle and bustle and craziness.
That is awesome, man. Because I'm telling you, you look like a superstar. Just you should have a show or something like Danny's Trails or something.
I have an Instagram.
Definitely
that. Instagram. So
absolutely. So I mean, once again, I think with art, we're talking about the expression of art, and we talked about. One of the ways to relieve stress or to meditate, so to speak, is sometimes, writing things down or doing music or taking a walk on the trail. Well, I think that's really stress relieving.
It is, and I have a story about that, actually. I've never really been much of a writer. As far as my writing goes, is journaling just for stress relief or to get things off my mind, process things. And my father isn't either. He's a musician. He plays guitar. So music and the arts have always been a part of my life. But writing really isn't our thing. But by the third day on the Appalachian Trail in the mountains, we were climbing this portion, hiking this portion called, I think, the Three Sisters.
Wow.
Three Wicked Sisters, or it may have been.
Whoa, and I was with you on the first one, the Three Sisters. Then it's called Three Wicked Sisters.
You're
Wait a
going
minute.
up, and you want to die, and then you come down, and you go up another one, and so it's these three big hills that you have to climb throughout the day, and it's tough.
Yeah.
And halfway through, my father and I started back and forth writing a poem about the Three Wicked Sisters, and I couldn't remember any of it, and it probably wasn't, critically very, very good, but these two non-writers, non-poets, just felt so inspired. It's like your brain space when you're in the woods, when you're separated from all the clutter.
You feel invincible.
It just opened up, and our creativity that we didn't even know we had started flowing in the middle of the mountains, between huffing and puffing and throwing trail mix down our throats. So it was pretty incredible. I keep thinking about that because I've never had that type of inspiration before. So the woods are so inspiring. Everybody get out there.
Get out there in the woods. And here in the chat room, shout out to everybody in the chat room. Jimmy Hart says T-Mill needs to go camping. DJ Blue says snakes. Any snakes?
I haven't seen any snakes. My father and my Theo Roddy, my uncle, they've seen snakes. But you just take precaution. You have your little walking stick. So if you're going through an area of brush, you just kind of make sure to clear the way. Don't go
Right.
step on the log before you step over the log in case there's a snake on the other side.
See, if when I do go trailing, I'm calling you and
my
Dad
dad
up.
had a bear take his pack and like run with his pack for a few yards. He smelled the beef jerky, so there are risks, but you just take precaution. And it's
Wow. Well, I mean, probably no more than, I guess, out on the road, with crazy people driving and stuff like that. And a couple people, y'all shouting out a lot of these trails. How come nobody told me about it? They're talking about Blair Witch Trail, Stonerfield trails. Y'all keep dropping those trails in there, man.
Leave me recommendations, please.
Absolutely.
I will go hike them all. I'll drag him along for one.
Well, yeah, I'll be in the back. So, now, and we're gonna have to get Danny a sneaker deal too to get you, some of those hiking sneakers and hiking boots and stuff like that. Get a deal, get a sponsor. So y'all make sure y'all hit her up on the Instagram and get somebody. I don't know who the companies are, but some of those neat sneakers. You know what I'm saying? To make them, absolutely. So now Arts Huntsville.
Arts Huntsville, yes.
We're talking now. When I became familiar with it, it was called the Arts Council.
Yes. And
then, ironically, around I think in the same year, they changed to the Arts Huntsville.
Yeah, we rebranded as Arts Huntsville at the beginning of 2016. So shortly after I joined the organization.
Absolutely. And I think for me, I want you to tell everyone what it is, but I think for me, the reason it was important to join and to just become a part of it and to learn more about it is, again, to keep arts alive. When I saw the organization and what you guys are doing, and just, across the spectrum from one piece of art to the next, and it's like nothing's excluded. If it's, in the Rocket City or in the Tennessee Valley, and if it's art, if it's expression, whether it's performing arts in the theater, whether it's visual arts or musical or just anything, and just the amount of work that you guys have been doing for countless years, I'm like, man, this something like this exists. It's like, superheroes for art, so that's the way I thought about it. So champions for art is what I thought about. So what is Arts Huntsville?
Well, our mission statement is that we stimulate and support community creativity in the arts and engagement in the arts. So what we really do is we're kind of an umbrella organization where we support and promote local artists, individual artists, musicians, bands, large arts organizations, small arts organizations. We provide them with resources, information that they may need to grow their organization or get their art out there. We try to provide opportunities for them to showcase their work and their craft. We also advocate for arts education. Our executive director, Allison Dillon-Jochen, is a wonderful woman, and she worked with the state to craft a sort of a plan, an arts curriculum that we would like to see, implemented across the state. So she's very active in that. I think it's called the Arts Literacy Consortium. If you want to look it up.
All right.
And because we know how important arts education is for people of all ages, but especially in those formative childhood years, we see how it impacts every aspect of their education. It can make their math proficiency better, which some people think the arts and sciences are completely separate.
Well, they've done studies with that about kids that are involved in arts are like geniuses with math, or people that are great with math are usually great at art, at whatever, drawing or writing. So
exactly. And I think here in Huntsville, this is a sidebar, but here in Huntsville, we see that because Huntsville Symphony Orchestra was started by the scientists that came here with Werner von Braun. They needed a musical outlet. They wanted something that would this world that they came from. They wanted that here in Huntsville, so they created the symphony orchestra. Even now, the engineers working on the Redstone Arsenal, so many of them are involved with the arts as a pastime, as a hobby, because it just really enriches your mind and creates space for innovation, which then helps you, create rockets and get you to space. So it's a little oversimplification, but it
does.
True.
It takes you somewhere. If you're somebody like me that is a little bit afraid to hit the trails and whatnot. Art, takes you. The trail is art. The mountains and the forest and things like that. That's art. And so, Jimmy Hart in the chat room says, hold on, where is he at? So he says Huntsville needs a tag park for graffiti art, and he also says. Yeah. So Jimmy, I definitely need you. Everybody that's in here, I need y'all to go to
artshuntsville.org.
Artshuntsville.org, and find out how you can become a member. I'm not one of those people that are going to tell you. Well, yeah, I am, because I've been telling everybody since, I've been a member, like they need to be members. But definitely Jimmy Hart, everybody that's in here that's an artist. And Jimmy Hart's a phenomenal graffiti artist and visual artist as well. Now, one of the things that I think about we were just talking about in the last conversation was unfortunately, with the way things seem to be going, is that the arts, as far as the presidency, the administration, and things like that, and I guess it happens usually every election. There's always that when anybody's talking about the budget and things to cut, arts is always that number one thing on the agenda. So it's not the first time that this is the first president. This always happens. But talk about why arts is important, especially for those people that think, oh, well, they're just playing music, or my kid needs to be doing something else with his time instead of drawing pictures and walking in forests and whatever. So why is the arts important?
Oh, goodness. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to talk for an hour, but here we go.
Here we go.
I mean, it's kind of what I just touched on. The arts, it is a creative expression. It gives you an outlet for your mind to really innovate and create and think outside the box. It helps you understand concepts as opposed to just the black and white rules. So maybe if you are really great with maybe literature arts are your thing, you have great reading comprehension, you love to write, that may help you when you're doing a complex math problem, where it's not just the formula. Maybe it's one of the word problems I think we can all remember from standardized testing that made your brain want to explode. But those things can really play together. So it helps you with that, comprehension and seeing the bigger picture. I keep talking about my dad, but he's been so influential in my life as far as the arts go. He's a dentist. He studied biology and the sciences in school.
Wow.
He didn't study the arts. The arts were always a part of his life, and that's an outlet that it really opens your mind to be able to do whatever it is you may be doing in whatever field. Also, people don't understand that the arts they don't have to just be a hobby. They can lead you down a career path. Whether that is teaching, whether it is we're in the beautiful Maitland Conservatory talking to Mario here about how the arts were in his life and how he created a business out of it and a life path out of it, a career out of it. So there's so many different ways that the arts play a role every day. You think about, the shirt I'm wearing today was designed by an artist. The phone you're holding was designed by an artist. The headphones. This building was designed by an architect.
Oh man, you're breaking it down. That's what I'm talking about.
Because that's the thing, the arts are in everything. Everything. And when people don't recognize that, you're like, okay, go a week without consuming any form of art. Don't see the radio. Don't watch TV. You know what? Don't go to a restaurant because that's the culinary arts. Like it. You know what? Wear a paper sack because don't wear the clothes because those were all designed by artists. Actually, the paper sack was probably designed by an artist.
Somebody had to. Wow.
It goes deep down.
Wow. Oh my God.
It goes so deep down. And so people don't recognize that. And then going on even further. So I feel like I'm on my soapbox now.
Hey, you stay on it for as long as you need. We got plenty of them.
Oh, goodness. But, people don't recognize the economic impact of the arts. I could, if you wanted to give me a moment, I could pull up all the numbers. But it is the arts nonprofit, just the nonprofit arts world creates more than 4 million jobs, full-time equivalent jobs a year. That's not small. It has billions of dollars of impact on our economy. When companies look to relocate, they're looking for a city to maybe move a factory to, or they want to expand. They look at the quality of life in a city.
Wow.
What are the people like there? What is there to do? If we're transferring our people there and then going to be creating so many jobs, is it going to be a good place for us to go?
And they're going to want to spend their money. They're going to want to go out and be entertained, and they want to do things. They want to have, entertainment or art, to entertain them.
Exactly. So quality of life is a huge thing, not just for your own personal pleasure and having something fun to do, which is important, but also for economic impact, for cultural tourism. So it just is so deeply rooted.
Wow.
And I think there are a few stats I can rattle off if people are into stats. I am. But one of them is that when someone goes to an art event, maybe they're going to go see a show, see a performance or a concert, they're going to spend $25 per person on top of admission price just that night. Whether they go out to dinner, they're stopping for gas, they buy a souvenir, something, they're going to be spending their money. And that goes, and I think 30% of arts audiences for an event come from outside of your county. So you're drawing people in who wouldn't be spending money in your community, and now they are.
Wow.
Above and beyond just that ticket. So,
man,
I hope that was articulate. I don't know if it was, but that's the thing, is it just, the arts enliven and enrich and grow communities.
Wow.
Beyond just the cultural aspect, it even goes into business growth, economic development, which are things that people can all rally behind and understand, even if you personally don't have a connection to the arts. It may be on the periphery for you.
It's going to affect someone or some aspect of your life. Yeah, absolutely. So. Absolutely. I mean, Marcus Sims, I don't know about you, but the way she just broke that down was like, I got to understand things like a 5-year-old.
You know, so T-Mill's like in the 80s and 90s where you would say rappers were dropping science or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
she dropped some science.
I mean, she said that 19% of the such and such, and it was like, oh my gosh. But I'm so with her on that, because everything I do, like with this podcast or things that I do, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or anything, I always like to hashtag arts, support the arts, because I don't think we realize just how important it is. And she just gave
every reason you wouldn't have a house if there wasn't any. Get out of your house if you're not going to support the arts. Don't go eat any food if you're not going to support the arts. She just explained exactly why.
Like it's not just as easy. Like when you're enjoying that nice Chef Will veggie burger, and you're going to chill at the park and listen to some jazz, or you're going later on that night to, enjoy a play, a good musical, a comedy act, or you're going to check out a nice art gallery. These are the arts, and that's why I say it all the time. We got to support these artists, support them, and go out and, spread the information. Don't go by yourself. Take a couple friends with you.
Absolutely.
And let these artists and venues and everyone who's involved in all this stuff, let them know. Because at the end of the day, it's great. We got a lot of great scientists, engineers, and people and all that. But it's the artists that always the ones that kind of stir it up in the community. And
they got to spend their money on something. All these people. So all the people, my question is, for all the people that's trying to cut the arts, and when every time they want to cut the funding and cut the arts, okay, what are you going to do with your money if there's no arts around? Where are you going to go if there's no arts around? You might be able to survive for a day or two, but if you're married, you got to take your wife somewhere. You got to take your husband somewhere. You got to go out and take the kids somewhere. You're not just going to entertain them at the house by yourself. And guess what? When you do, that's art. So if you're doing a play or you tell them to go outside and do this and do that, that's art.
T-Mill, I will say this, building a wall is not art.
Depends on the type of wall that you're building. Well, maybe building a tunnel.
Right. Oh my God. That would be an art form too.
Somebody got to build a tunnel and a plane over and under it. So,
I have more stats. You want more stats?
Absolutely. Okay. We love stats. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Yes. All right.
So I had to pull it up because I couldn't remember it off the top of my head. So I'm going to just read this off. But MIT.
Okay. Let's go.
Top technological institute in the nation. If someone goes to MIT, you're like, oh, you are smart.
Yeah.
They have more than 60 music, theater, visual arts, writing, and dance groups.
I didn't know that.
12 museums and galleries on campus.
Wow.
70, and this is the one I was trying to find, 70% of incoming freshmen at MIT have training in the arts when they come in. So
I didn't know they had all that. Wow.
Yes, and it says more than 50% of undergraduates enrolled in art courses each year at MIT. Because these aren't mutually exclusive. The arts enrich that scientific mind. The sciences can give you a new perspective when you are doing something artistic.
Absolutely.
In your artistic thing. And we have examples of that at Panoply with our STEAM interactives. I know we'll talk about
Panoply. I mean, well, that's a great segue so let's talk about, for one, what Panoply is and what it means. But again, without a Panoply or without all these different festivals, what are, again, I mean, I know you just gave us 58 of them, but what are the, the effects of something like that? So what is Panoply first and foremost?
Panoply is a celebration of the arts. It's Panoply Arts, Music, and More. So it is a showcase of local and regional talent. It is a place for people to come out and really see all that our community has to offer in the arts and really kind of get inspired themselves. So we have more than 50 local and regional performers. So that's musical bands and dance groups. We have more than 100 artists from across the country who showcase in our art marketplace at Panoply. And we have STEAM Interactive, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So these are things that kids can go do, adults can as well, where they are doing art projects, creating simple art projects that in some way are examples or explain or kind of make tangible a scientific concept. So one of those this year is going to be the physics of pirouettes with the Huntsville Ballet Company. So you'll go there and you'll make a spinning top. You get to design it yourself, build a spinning top, and while you're there, you're going to be learning the principles of a pirouette, how it works, the physics of it.
Wait, what is a pirouette?
A pirouette? Okay.
Break it down.
I don't know. It's a spin. I haven't taken ballet
since I was
like 10. But yeah, it is a spin. And I think it's one where it's on one leg and you Google it.
Right. It's art.
Everybody
there you go.
Google a pirouette because I cannot say it articulately. I'll sound like a fool. But yeah, so it's things like that. With HAL 5 is coming and you can create a hovercraft. So you're building a hovercraft.
Oh, man.
Just a little thing for kids to do. Very simple.
I'm taking the kids out of the way. They got to go somewhere. I got to do the hovercraft myself.
Disc and a balloon. So very simply built. But you'll learn sort of how a hovercraft works. And you'll get to design it yourself. So that's it kind of showcases this marriage. And then we have community art projects where we're going to have one where people can go and sort of paint fireworks. So we're going to display them to kind of mimic the Panoply fireworks that we do every Friday and Saturday of the festival.
Man.
And we're really excited about the Unity Project. And this is one that we are partnering with the Department of Multicultural Affairs in the city. Kenny Anderson.
Shout out to Kenny. Shout out to Kenny.
He's amazing. So we're working with him on this Unity Project where it is basically going to be a display, an example of the diversity in Huntsville and how, as a whole, it creates such a rich and vibrant community. So
Absolutely.
And without getting too much into it, but basically you're going to go out there and you're going to find a way that you identify yourself. And you'll stand at that pole or that location of what you identify as and grab a brightly colored thread. And you're going to walk across to maybe something else you identify as. Like, I am a Hispanic single woman. So I might start at I'm a single woman, and then walk down to, I'm Hispanic, and then walk across to whatever else I identify as, and bring this cord with me.
Wow.
And you'll see how everyone's paths cross and mesh and intertwine, and we hope by Sunday it's going to create this beautiful, colorful canopy.
Oh, that's
right there in the park.
That is awesome, man.
So we're very excited about that one.
That is awesome. I mean, again, you named so many things and so many reasons why art is important and the different aspects because I don't know, I think maybe when some people think of art, maybe they think about crayons and that's it. And they don't know, so it's like you have to teach them and get them out of the house, get them out in front of the TV.
Or they think it's this bougie, it's not something that they can really relate to because maybe
they think it's that ballet move, the four quad. Four quad. I can't do the four quad. I don't do that.
But yeah, they may feel like it's inaccessible. They may be like, they can only think of art as high art, or they may not think of folk art or urban art.
And High Art is a great movie. Speaking of art, and then High Art is a great movie, so you gotta check it out.
That up. Or the ways all these different types of art can come together. And they're really for everyone. So.
And would you say that maybe for the people that don't maybe, okay, so for the people that don't understand it, or for those people that we're talking about, is it that they haven't found something to relate to yet? And I say yet because I think it has, everybody can relate to it and find something that relates to them, but they just haven't found it yet. You know, that one, that's like somebody saying, I don't eat food. I only eat, or I don't eat meat, or I don't eat, well, no, I can't say meat, but that's just like somebody saying, I don't eat food. There's a bazillion different things of food across the world. Yeah. You're telling me you can't eat one of them? You don't like one of them? So there's so many different aspects of art. There's so many different intertwining things, like you said. There's so many different aspects of it that you have to identify with at least one of them.
And I think that, I mean, I don't have authority to say this. I don't have any statistics I can go off of. You know how much I love that. But I firmly believe that that's probably the case. Mm-hmm. That if you can say, oh, I don't care about the arts, I don't like the arts, mm-hmm. then you simply have either a very narrow view of what the arts entail, mm-hmm. And perhaps you haven't found mm-hmm. the aspect of the arts that you personally connect with. Right. Or maybe you have, but you don't recognize that that's what we're talking about when we talk about the arts.
Exactly.
It's not just going to the Met. It's also, you know, the dance class you took as a kid, mm-hmm. or the art class at school that, you know, you enjoyed as a brain break between, mm-hmm. you know, two tough classes. Yep. Or whatever it may be. You like mm-hmm. fashion. You like your special type of cologne. Whatever it may be, there's something that you like. Yeah. You just have to recognize that it's an art form.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you guys have any questions about Arts Huntsville or about Panoply, please ask some questions.
I can tell you more about Panoply.
Absolutely. Now, I want to talk about, so again, and Panoply is 3 days,
yes,
correct?
April 28th through the 30th. Mm-hmm. We're already selling tickets.
Yep.
So it's $18 for a weekend pass.
Get that weekend pass, y'all. Get it early. Get it early.
You have to get that in advance. And then $10 day pass that you can get in advance or just at the gate. And then mm-hmm. kids 12 and under always get in free.
Absolutely.
So if you get that weekend pass, you can come with the kids, come with the family, and really get to explore the festival to as much as you would like. You find that piece of art you want to buy, but you want to see if you're still thinking about it a day later. And
there
then
you go.
Come back again. But what we're so excited about, and I was excited to talk to you about, is our headlining act this year.
Yeah.
Which is the Blind Boys of Alabama. Have either of y'all? Yes.
Yep,
okay.
Absolutely.
I had to be, when I first heard of them, I hadn't heard of them. Mm-hmm. I grew up listening to that genre with my family, but mm-hmm. that one flew over my radar. But they are incredible. 5-time Grammy winners. They've won a Lifetime Achievement Award Grammy. Mm-hmm. They basically define 21st century gospel. They perform for benefits for Martin Luther King Jr. They perform for 3 different presidents. These guys are living legends. Yeah. And we are so incredibly honored.
It's going to be an unforgettable year this year.
Yes. And so even if you're like, oh, gospel, that's not my thing, come out. Because mm-hmm. I firmly believe people are going to have tears in their eyes. Mm. They play a version of Amazing Grace set to, what is it, that song? Something of the Rising Sun? Help me here. No, maybe.
It sounds like it should be.
Perhaps.
Dawn of the rising sun, impending rising sun. Here comes the rising sun.
Something like that.
The sun is
rising sun.
Can I pull it up?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys, yeah, one of y'all in the chat room ought to know what it is as well.
Yes.
All right, y'all got to help us out.
What are we doing? This is the day of Google.
Right. And where would we be without these phones, without art?
Oh my goodness.
Woo. So, and you guys, once again, if you are watching, we're talking about the Arts Huntsville, and we're talking about Panoply. If you guys are in the chat room, I need to know how many people are going to Panoply. I want y'all to drop, because I'm going. Yes. I mean, I'm obviously going. I'll go every year. I love it. And
House of the Rising Sun. Sorry.
House of the Rising Sun.
House
there you
of
go.
the Rising Sun.
Another thing that wouldn't
Grace
exist.
By the Blind Boys of Alabama. Look it up and then come listen to it live at Panoply.
I mean, there's so much different music. There's so much different. I mean, there's something for everybody to do, which is why I say there's, again, for someone that likes music, for someone that likes visual art, for someone that just likes culture and learning about different things, or just like being around different people. Because we all know that one person that just loves talking to people to death and like talking to new people and just telling them about their life story. There's a bunch of people that you can meet at Panoply to talk about.
And what I always encourage people to do, whether it's when they're walking around Low Mill, which is something they encourage, and I also really encourage it at Arts Huntsville's festivals, whether that's Panoply or Montesano Art Festival, is go talk to the artists.
Yeah.
When you are walking by and you're looking at the art in their tent, ask them about their process. Ask them where they took those photographs. Ask them what they're inspired by. They're more than happy to talk to you and really give you a glimpse of behind the scenes of their art making process. And once you know that story, sometimes they can really make a piece of art that you may have liked aesthetically now just kind of come alive for you. You know the story behind it. And then it's something really great that when it's in your home, people come by, oh hey, I like that piece, where'd you get it? I got it from this wonderful artist at Panoply, let me tell you about it. So I love the stories that are behind these pieces, and I encourage people to really dig down and find them. And like I mentioned, you know, at Low Mill Arts, they encourage you to walk into the studios and talk to the artists. Please do that, people, because that's really what's going to make art that may seem inaccessible become really alive for people, I believe.
And and also this is a 3-day event.
Yes.
So what else can we expect at during the 3 days at Panoply? We also, now you talked about one which is huge. I've definitely got to check that out, about the diversity. And for that's going to be great as well. What are also some of the things that people can look forward to?
Oh, we have our Panoply letters. Those are big 6-foot letters. They spell out Panoply, and every day kids can come and paint them. That was wildly popular last year, and it's coming back this year again. As you go throughout the park, we'll have lots of different activities, not only the STEAM interactives and the community art projects, but some of we have a few vendors, community partners who are in the park, media partners, and they'll have activities for you to engage with as well.
Absolutely.
As far as musicians, we have, like I said, I think we have more than 30 local and regional bands performing, not counting all the dance companies. And that goes from, you know, rock to Americana to classical to jazz. It's all over the spectrum. There's really something for everybody. So you'll go out there and find something that you may already enjoy and something new that you didn't know you enjoyed.
There you go.
We're bringing Humming House, which is a band out of Nashville. They're up and coming.
Wow.
They're very popular, very good. It's more of like Americana, unique sound. And then the Secret Sisters, which are from Florence. And they're very popular as well. Beautiful harmonies. Yeah. Just the voices.
Harmony's my thing. I like
angels that play guitar. Oh, I cannot say. I saw them at Tangled String Studios. They've been to Panoply before, but I first saw them at Tangled String over at Low Mill, and
wow. Man. And not to mention, I mean, there's going to be, food there. There's going to be...
Oh, yeah, we'll have local food trucks. Craft beer.
Craft beer. Let's talk about craft beer.
Local craft beer. We're going to have a special Panoply beer this year.
Wow. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
So it's created by our friends over at Straight to Ale.
Shout out to Straight to Ale.
We've partnered with them for a long time, and they've created a honey wheat Panoply craft beer that will be available at Panoply, but also it's going to be available in advance of Panoply over at their brewery.
Man, that's what I'm talking about.
You can get a taste of Panoply before the festival, get you excited for it.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Marcus, you have any questions about Arts Huntsville or about Panoply?
Yeah, I know whenever there's a huge event like that, a huge festival, people like to, maybe someone wants to volunteer, help out. Maybe they've got a few hours.
Good question.
I love you for the Yes.
Like, how could someone? Because I know I got some students on A&M's campus that they need some volunteer. Put the camera on me.
There you go. Talk to them.
Have went all semester without volunteering.
Talk to them.
So, if you would like to volunteer, where's that little teacup at? Do the little teacup. How would they volunteer? What?
What a wonderful question, let me tell you. So we're actually accepting volunteers right now. People can sign up to volunteer at Panoply. We have shifts that are, I think maybe 2 to 4 hour shifts. You can do as many shifts as you would like in a variety of different activities. Yeah. So if you go to artshuntsville.org, we have a link up on our homepage on the right-hand side. It's also on our Facebook page. We have a link up where you can go and just look at all the different activities, the slots available, and just input your name and sign up right there. If you have a large group, maybe you have an organization. You can reach out to us directly through our website, info@artshuntsville.org. And also, I think that volunteer page has contact information as well, where you can email if you have a large group you want to sign up for something specific.
Absolutely. A great way to get teenagers out there and young adults.
It takes more than 1,000 volunteers. I think closer to 1,500 volunteers to make anything happen. Arts Huntsville staff is 7 people. So
man.
Yes, this festival, and it's so near and dear to our hearts. It's its 35th year this year.
Wow.
We have volunteer chairs, like kind of our head chair volunteers who oversee different aspects of the festival that have been with us for 20 years.
Wow.
Like, they love this festival so much, and they love it in the way that I hope the community and you guys can learn to love it.
Absolutely. We got people in the chat room talk. So, shout out to Cendrine. I'm not sure if she's still out in, Canada, Montreal. But Cendrine says, too bad I don't live closer. I would have attended. And she says, people would stop valuing, the work based on the limited perception of what art is. Jimmy Hart says, bring the shakes, Alabama shakes. Yes, sir. He says, I like Jimi Hendrix's version of House of the Rising Sun. Also, and then he had a picture of a teacup.
Word up, thank you, Jimmy.
Jimmy, I don't know how you found a picture of a teacup or an icon of a teacup, but leave it to Jimmy to have something like that. If you guys have any questions as well, and now if you're listening to the archive of this, or if you're listening after the live episode, you guys can drop your question. Leave the question wherever you have it at, or wherever. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll come lurk and answer your questions. Leave them there.
This is a really good question, and depending on how I would like to volunteer for it, and just try to figure out a way to do it. But it says, will they ever stream Panoply? Stream live.
Panoply. Well, it's something to think about. Like, I know last year we probably did a couple Facebook Lives of some of the performances.
Yeah.
As far as streaming every performance throughout the festival, I don't think
that's
we wouldn't have the resources for that. Panoply is a program of Arts Huntsville. It is not a for-profit event. We have that ticket price, but it is not a for-profit event.
Yeah.
It is not a fundraiser for Arts Huntsville. It is we're putting out. We're getting back what we're putting out there. So that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll do a few more like Facebook Lives. I feel like that's the closest I get to that.
So Jimmy, we need you and all those drones and 360. What do you call them? The
360 photos.
Yeah, the photos and all that. So definitely. And he says I could film Panoply in virtual reality. Oh, I forgot he's got the virtual reality camera. So yeah, that would be dope. So let's
give me a call.
Yeah,
let's talk.
And where can they reach you at, or where can they reach out to Arts Huntsville again for more information on Panoply, or if they want to volunteer, or if they have really cool ideas like virtual reality?
Yes. I will. It's easier to just say, hey, to go to artshuntsville.org. The general email inbox is info at artshuntsville.org. And if you want, you know what, Tim, if you want to leave my email information in the comments there, you can do that too. Because if you guys want to reach out directly to me, I'm totally open to hearing your ideas. I'm always looking for that. Yeah.
Cool. Now for you, and I always ask this question. So far throughout Arts Huntsville or throughout Panoply, or just being in the arts period, what's one memory that you have, or one experience that comes to mind that just totally blows your mind every time you think about it, or a favorite memory, or one of those favorites
with Arts
that you think about it, or just art period, or just being in the arts, or an art experience?
Oh goodness, I have so many.
I know. That's what.
Okay, I was telling Mario the story earlier, so I'm going to recap it for you guys. As far as an arts memory that is important to me and meaningful to me personally, outside of my professional career, that would just be as a child. Like I said, my father plays guitar. I played piano growing up, but one of my favorite memories is we would sit in our family room and we would just listen to his CDs, one after the other, and would go from, we were talking about Take Six. We were listening to Take Six and acapella gospel, to listening to Janet Jackson, to listening to the Smashing Pumpkins, and just listening to this diverse array of music that was meaningful to my father and that he really loved and wanted to introduce me. We'd merengue. Sometimes he'd bust out his electric guitar, and I'd walk downstairs to catch my dad playing his electric guitar. He would play guitar for me every night as I fell asleep. So, that stuff is the really nostalgic, important, it just makes me all warm inside. And that's how the arts are such a big part of my life growing up and so formative for me, because it was natural. It wasn't forced. It was just a part of our lives. And now, you know, at my age, I look back on it so fondly. And people may not realize like how you're creating those types of memories. And now I hope I can create one day. You're creating now, you know, like, so you'll continue. And as for Arts Huntsville, and this is kind of, I do all the marketing and promotions, and marketing and PR manager over there. So this is a little selfish, but when I was at Panoply last year, it was my first Panoply last year. And, you know, it's just, the train is on the tracks. You're going full steam ahead, trying to get ready for this huge festival. The last 2 weeks leading up to the festival, you're working 18-hour days. You're sleep deprived. You're living on coffee and protein bars. And it's just so hectic and crazy. And then when we opened the gates and I saw the line of people down the road and they came in. This is the third time I've mentioned crying on this podcast. But I just started crying.
Right.
Because you just, when you see people coming out there, like, they heard about us and they want to be with us and they want to enjoy the arts and have a fun time with their family at this thing that you helped do. It just
blows your mind. What's the woman? They like me. They really like me.
Yes, they like us. They really like us. So that's one that stands out to me, because it's just incredible.
I mean, it's mind-blowing to see that many people from all different walks of life, all different ages, all different ethnic groups, all different. I mean, again, when they say, you know, different parts or Huntsville's a melting pot, you can see the melting pot. And I say this, and you know, me and Marcus have talked about this and a couple other folks, that I try to take people to task, so to speak, when we talk about diversity and when we talk about, well, I don't see the diversity in Huntsville, or I don't know what, you know, there's this divide and there's this and there's that. I'm sure that there's places, I've been in those places where there is, you know, where it's just, again, it's like night and day, like you just see this divide. However, there's a lot of places in Huntsville where, I mean, you don't see, it's diversity like none other. I mean, you would see it and you would think that, I mean, again, it's where everybody comes. It's one of those places where not only Panoply, but a lot of different places. But if no other time during the year, I think that you see it in its biggest capacity is Panoply. You know, to where you see everyone.
It is the largest outdoor event and festival of its kind in Madison County. Like I said, 35 years strong, just continues to grow and evolve. So it really is a place where people can come, and it's all right there. Like, if you have never had an introduction to the arts in Huntsville, you are completely clueless, come to Panoply, and you will have your eyes opened.
Absolutely.
So. You know, and if I can say this real quickly, you know, so we can help Danielle and everyone out, like, volunteer. Contact us, volunteer, so she can get a 17-hour day she works. Right. You want her at least to get an extra hour. So volunteer. Now, don't just sit, you know, get out the house, get your nice sneakers, them khaki shorts. Contact them, email them, hit them up at panoply.com. I've already signed up a bunch of my friends.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I have to say, there isn't an actual panoply.com. So
go to panoply.org right now.
Artshuntsville.org.
That's it. Go to one of them websites, you find it. But go there, volunteer, have a nice time. We want them to get an extra hour or so of sleep. Just, you know, she can't live off of power bars and coffee and
I know. Remember, she's got to hit some trails, and
I mean, because
those people got to do some things.
Because that Sunday, the attitude may be a little different when she's hiked up on one. Don't ask her where the bathrooms are at Sunday, man. It's gonna get really honoring. Find it yourself.
Thank you for having my back. I'm just gonna have you like walk around with me, and if people give me grief, I'll be like, Marcus, take care of me.
Right. Trust me, Marcus will be getting his sleep.
Now, also,
I'm gonna get my sleep on.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Get out there and volunteer.
Volunteer for real. Volunteer.
Yeah, and we take volunteers throughout the year too. So if for some reason you can't make it to Panoply, we have Montesano Arts Festival in the fall. So there's always ways to volunteer with Arts Huntsville.
Well, here's the thing: they can make it to Panoply,
but you can.
You know, you can make it to Panoply. There's 3 days.
If you volunteer, you're like, oh, I don't know. If you volunteer, at Panoply, you get to enjoy the park for free.
Free 99.
Free. Say it again. Free
99.
Yes. So
free 99.
You put in a few hours. You help us make this festival great because we really rely on you guys.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the festival. You're already inside the gates.
You're in the gates and you're free.
If you needed more incentive than just the kindness and givingness of your heart. So
I love it. Now, Jimmy also mentions we got a couple comments. Y'all keep the comments going. And I'll have to tag you in this or go back and read the comments. But Sandrine says she'd love to interview you for one of her blogs. If you're interested. Definitely, and Sandrine's a phenomenal writer and blogger. Jimmy Hart mentioned Con Society and 5 Points Block Party when we were talking about the culture and diversity, of course. And
also be another block party soon?
There will be a block party. We're working on that now.
Okay,
so it'll be our third year. So it'll be in August, and so we'll be doing that. One of again the block party was sort of inspired and by so many different things, but again with Panoply and things that we were seeing around the city. So there definitely will be another block party. And if you guys remember the Con Society building, unfortunately it's no longer there, but it was off of Pratt Avenue. And the building, the first block party we had, Jimmy Hart and Kingpin, they came out and painted the entire front of the building. So the art that you saw, on the building was Jimmy Hart. Jimmy, I'm gonna lie. I was gonna get in trouble because when I heard that they were trying to tear it down, Jimmy, word.
Wait, what's happening?
Jimmy didn't know
what's happening over here. I'm feeling very left out.
He's having two different shows. So back to you, Daniela.
Right.
He didn't have a conversation.
So So I wanted to talk about that real quick. So yeah,
you said something. You said something, so I wanted to know if I'm nosy.
Yeah, well, no, we were talking about the blogs, and we were also talking about when we talked about the 5 Points Block Party, and we were talking about Jimmy's with the mural.
Reach out to me about your blog.
Absolutely.
Well, like I said, he'll put my contact information in the comments there when we're done here. So
absolutely,
y'all can find me.
And now, so one of the things I was also going to bring up is your marketing and promotion. Now, I know you can't tell just by looking at it, but I'm inspired by your marketing and promotion. And a lot of the stuff that I do is sort of like, oh man, I like how she did that. I like how she did. All right, let me try to do it this way. It doesn't come out the same way, but I was looking at that. And the reason I say that is because the way, and again, I think it's the way it should be done. It's done right. It's done with integrity, and it's in a way that draws you in. So if I see something that you post, or if I see something, it just draws in, as opposed to the just spammy type stuff that people put out there. Hey, look at this, click on this, play this and this and this. But the marketing aspect that you come with, it comes from, I don't know where it comes from, but it seems like, again, it comes from a real honest, like interest. Like it's kind of like that childlike, hey, this is this cool thing, let me tell you all about this is what's going on. And so it comes from that aspect, but I think that is incredible. So with
go on
with right, well, no, I was gonna ask with marketing and promotion, if you could, because again, I think with the arts in Huntsville and with poetry, with music, and a lot of the artists that are here, and we don't have to go all the way into it, but again, as far as a marketing, I think Arts Huntsville does a great, they do a phenomenal job marketing and getting, translating, and communicating with people, in a way, I think that grabs your attention. So I say that to say, just if there was a tidbit or something that you could give to a lot of the artists that are going to be at Panoply, and shout out to the artists that signed up, to volunteer or to perform and whatnot. But for the artists that are marketing and they're trying to, I want to get people to come see me at Panoply, or I want people to, come check me out and things like that. What would you say is one of those things, or just any advice that you could give them to get that attention?
Well, a couple things. First off, you cannot be afraid to self-promote. I know sometimes, especially with your art or your craft, you may feel like it's bragging, or, who's going to like it, or if people like this, they should just seek it out. I shouldn't have to promote myself. Like, it's good enough, it should speak for itself.
Right.
Wrong. But that's just not the way it works.
Right.
I have the best success promoting our members when they're promoting themselves, when they're posting their new works. If you're a visual artist, what I love to see as a consumer, and then it helps me as a professional, is when people are posting, their progress. Like, oh, look, this is the beginning stages of this vase I'm making. This is the beginning stages of, what will become a painting of Big Spring Park. You get to see the process. It's intriguing and exciting. When you bring viewers and consumers, hopefully customers, along on that ride for you, it's telling them a story. It's helping them build a connection with you. And so much of marketing today and promotions is about hitting people where they can feel connected to it. They have an emotional draw to whatever it may be.
Okay, yeah.
So it's about not being afraid to self-promote. Show them your process. You may not want to show them just the rough sketch you did that will soon become a beautiful painting. You think, oh, that's nothing. But they want to see that.
Yeah,
that's exciting to them, because then, like, oh, what's it going to become? And then when they can see the beginning and the end,
some context, where you can see, again, to see that, oh, you didn't draw that. No, this is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. And this is the end product, I think that's a good, context.
Yes. And if you're an organization, there's some smaller organizations. They may have a Facebook page, they may have a Twitter and Instagram, something like that, but they'll only post on it once every few months when they have a show. If you are not posting consistently on Facebook because of the algorithms, especially for business pages, it's going to get buried. You kind of have to have a consistent presence in order for more people to see the things that are really going to matter when you post them.
Right.
So find a way to be engaging as often as possible. Don't just post once a month, once a week. Really try to find a way to always be reaching your audience. Even if it's not, if you're an organization, it may not be something you guys are doing. It may be an article about your craft. You're a chorus.
Right.
And there's a study that came out, or an article, or another chorus that you think is doing something amazing, and there was a story written about. Share that!
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be so like, well, this isn't about us, or this isn't about me. It's about the arts world. And you're drawing people in, getting them engaged with the concepts and the art world, and therefore more engaged with you.
Absolutely.
It's all boats rise together too. So definitely.
So is it safe to say if you want people to engage with you, you should engage
with them? 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yes. 100 emoji. Yes.
Absolutely. Sandrine says you can have great results only by focusing on one or two platforms for 20 minutes a day.
Yes.
That's great. She says consistency. Awesome. And so speaking of consistency, what is, let's say, okay, now with art, now we talked about, you walk on the trails. I tried to get Danny to rap at the Cypher. I think she can. She just was, trying to scope out the talent. But, so for art, what are Danny's arts? What are some of the other things that you like as far as expressing yourself with art and in the arts? What are some of the things that you like to do?
Personally, first I'm going to throw out a quote, and it's called, "All art is but the imitation of nature." And that is something that speaks to me deeply. That's not my quote.
Wow.
But that's something I always think of because...
yeah, the fly is art.
I just got attacked by a bug. Y'all can't see this if you're listening to the podcast, but I just got assaulted by a moth or something.
If you see her looking around aimlessly, that's what that was.
I was very easily distracted.
She kept her train of thought. It was just something,
Man, sorry. But yeah, so I definitely, I guess my personal art outlets, I played piano. I was talking to Mario about that earlier.
Wow,
I played piano. Very rusty now. It's been several years since I was proficient, and so I just bought a piano recently.
Oh, wow.
It is horribly out of tune. I hope to get that fixed, but I'm trying to get back into that, get that back.
Yeah.
I was in theater all growing up. Theater, dance. It's a shame, though, because once I went to college, the arts weren't my career path. I think I got a concentration in theater in college, but it wasn't what my career was going to be. And so I kind of let it fall by the wayside. And now I definitely feel a deep sense of regret. Because it's always, like I was talking about, the arts have always been in my life, whether it be music, whether it be theater. My parents took me to my first theater show when I was 4 years old, and they say they were so worried that I was going to, cry or pitch a fit, and instead I stood on my chair, grabbing the chair in front of me, just rapt with attention the entire time, just in awe of the show. And every year I'm like, hey, we're gonna go see shows again. I have to get season tickets. My mother has always been incredibly crafty. She made all these Christmas sweaters for us as a kid. She makes jewelry. She makes beautiful jewelry. Wow. So it's, like I said, for me, I guess I'm just trying to find my art outlet right now. I love to refinish furniture and, like I said, play music. And maybe one day I'll get back into theater. We'll see. But
hey,
I'm trying to regain it.
Right. Yeah. Well, we definitely need to make that happen.
I'm inspired by all the arts that I'm promoting all the time, but I'm trying to,
Absolutely. And I could definitely see that happening with all that. And it's never too late. As you know, it's never too late. Never too late to do it. I want to talk about real quick. So we're going to talk about the different arts.
Yes.
We're going to talk about I guess it's, 5, 10 arts. We can narrow it down to a few. Okay. But I want to talk about Danny's favorite in each category. So maybe your favorite play in the performing arts, maybe your favorite song in the music arts, and maybe your favorite what else? Help me out, Marcus. Come on, man. Ow. Help me out, brother. Help.
My favorite martial arts movie.
There you go. See,
I took taekwondo. Okay. 2 years in middle school.
See,
so don't mess with me.
See, there you go.
I have a mean roundhouse kick.
See,
there you go. Out there kicking them bears and stuff. Oh, and favorite
food. The snakes.
Snakes and bears.
Okay, so all right. Whoo.
So let's go. Let's talk about favorite. I'll say first one. We'll talk about favorite either cook or restaurant in the city. In the city.
Oh dear. Favorite. Okay, let's go to another one. Let me. Oh, okay. She is no longer. She just moved, which is very sad. Okay. But Ruth Mercado. She was a chef over at the Lumberyard for a long time. Wow. Sandwich Farm.
Okay.
She's incredible.
I gotta check that out. I love sandwiches.
Yeah,
Lumberyard as well.
She's moved from Huntsville, so I don't know if that really answers your question, but sorry.
No, I'm sure she's got to. She moved somewhere and she took the sandwiches with her.
Right.
So we just gotta find.
If she comes back, we'll all be able to.
There you go. You gotta hit me up if she comes back and you find out. Let me know. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Favorite movie.
2. My first favorite movie in the world is Cinema Paradiso. And it's an Italian film about this young boy who's obsessed with the movies. And he kind of is taken under the wing of the local guy who runs the theater in town. And it's in a very Catholic town. So the priest comes to the movie theater and he'll watch the movies first. And he'll ring a bell whenever they kiss. And if there's any kissing, the guy who works in there has to cut that out. So people will come to the movies and they have this big, they'd be watching the movie and be romantic right before they kiss, and then it splices to the next scene. And the kid is obsessed with that. And it becomes obsessed with film, and then he starts to run the theater, and then his love story is a part of it too. And it's just beautiful. If you don't mind reading subtitles, which I forget I'm reading subtitles, I'll walk away, and then about 2 minutes will pass, and I go, oh, I don't know what's happening, because you really.
Why are they talking like that?
Yeah, I'm like I don't actually understand them. Yeah. So it's very if you've never watched a foreign film,
and it's Cinema Paradiso.
Cinema Paradiso has a beautiful score, an Oscar-winning composer, just incredible.
Yeah.
And then my second favorite movie, which is a complete 180 here, is Zoolander.
He's like, here?
I'm like, it's a beautiful foreign film. And then Orange Mocha Frappuccino, Zoolander is my favorite movie.
Wow. Yeah. And favorite artist? Music artist.
Oh, musical artist. I have several. I think the ones that I continue to come back to, if we're not talking like classical composers or anything, would be Ben Folds.
Okay.
I love Ben Folds. He's a huge advocate for the arts and arts education.
Wow.
He's done incredible work for that. I've loved him since I was maybe like 14, and his music continues to speak to me.
I gotta check that out.
And then another one is Steely Dan.
I love Steely Dan. I was listening. Steely Dan is my daily playlist. They on my Steely Dan.
Yes, me too. He's just incredible, at what he does.
And
he's musically fascinating to listen to.
Absolutely. And let's see. What else? What else in arts? Let me think.
Visual arts.
So
I don't know if I have a specific favorite artist. I know like the impressionist period.
Okay.
Is my favorite period of art.
Okay, and explain that so like, people don't know what that is.
I don't know how to explain this very articulately. But it's definitely like Renoir, Monet. So you look at their paintings, and it isn't a lifelike depiction.
Okay.
It is an impression. It is what they may see in their artist's eye. So it's not like the realism, where there's some paintings. The realism freaks me out. If you've ever seen realism, that style, you will be looking at a painting that you would swear up and down is a photograph.
Wow.
Look
up realism. Google it. That's the answer to
the day. Is Google realism painting. Oh my goodness, it's wild.
Yeah.
Some people love that. It just terrifies me for some reason. But impressionism is, I think, it was my favorite genre of art. And then local artists, I don't know if I can. I don't want to pick out a local.
We won't say fave. We'll just say a couple picks.
I really love Christina Wegman.
Okay.
And she does a lot of impressionist painting, so I really love her work. And she's over at Clinton Row in downtown Huntsville.
Y'all check her out.
She's doing 30-minute portraits of people.
Oh wow!
So I have one of those from her, which is really cool. She has a lot of paintings depicting popular places in Huntsville. So she's a good friend of mine as well. So I really love her work.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Check her out.
Definitely.
Very vibrant and colorful. So it's uplifting, her pieces.
Absolutely. Marcus, any questions? Any last questions?
I mean, she's covered everything we need. We got Panoply coming up.
Yeah.
Which is a huge event I'm looking forward to. And hopefully those who... I checked out the volunteer section because it's something I'm actually interested in doing myself. And there's a lot of different categories where you can volunteer too in as well. So I guess... Really, I guess I'm cool with everything she said. I know like her favorite movie, was Zoolander. Like your favorite food is
my favorite food.
Yeah, favorite food.
Go.
Oh, gee. Okay. Oh, go. This is a podcast. I have to talk.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite food. This is such a cop out, but I love salad.
What? Wait a minute.
No, listen to me.
This podcast has took a whole different turn.
Listen to me.
Now end this and then wrap up.
No, it gets a bad rap. It gets a bad rap. You're like, ugh, lettuce, whatever. No, you could get creative.
Okay. Talk about it.
Growing up, we would have salad for dinner like 5 days a week, and it was always different.
Oh my God.
Different types of lettuces, different types of toppings.
Okay.
One of my favorite comfort foods in the world is the Columbia restaurant in St. Augustine, Florida. Their salad is called the 1905 salad. And it has ham and cheese and all sorts of wonderful flavors, and they make the dressing at the table. I'm telling you. It does not have to be sad girls at their desk eating salad.
Sad girls at
I think it's an internet meme. But,
right.
Yeah. There's so many possibilities with this. And I'll put like roasted vegetables, different types of meats, different types of making your own dressing. So,
is there a buffalo wing salad?
Yes, there is.
I could do that.
Chicken salad.
See, I could do that.
You can make barbecue chicken salad. You can make taco salad.
See, I could give that. I could get down with
that.
It's the art form of the salad.
Art form of salad.
I was just talking like chop a lettuce, chop a tomato, half an egg, ranch dressing. Yummy.
Absolutely.
I just feel all of your listeners now know how strange I am, in addition to...
But somebody's out there, salad, yes! There's somebody that loves salad like I do, yes! So, so shout out to that person and everybody that's out here doing the arts. Any shout outs that you would like to leave with us? Any shout outs? Any other news that we can leave the people with other than salad?
No,
it's gonna be like a salad advocate. That's gonna
oh my gosh! I don't like the turn this took. Just shout out to everyone out there who is an advocate for the arts. The local businesses who are commissioning artists for murals or public art pieces. The local businesses who are sponsoring the arts. You know, another stat. We
love stats. Absolutely.
Okay. Only 2 something percent of local giving goes towards the arts in Madison County. Only 2-ish%. So shout out to everyone, whether that's an individual who is making a donation, large or small, to the corporations and businesses who take it upon themselves to support the arts and be advocates of the arts. We have so many fantastic, wonderful Panoply volunteer or supporters and sponsors who help make that festival possible. And
I know people that have been going for ever since I moved to ever since it's been going. So
And we ask people to buy local art.
Yeah.
Buy local art. Don't just walk around the gallery or walk around the mill, walk around the local, boutique that's selling, local wares. Purchase a piece. You don't have to spend a ton of money. It could be $10. It could be $20. Give local gifts. Support your local artists. For many of them, that's their livelihood.
I purchased my mom a lot of goat soap milk for Christmas.
Exactly.
Goat soap milk? Okay, you're free from the salad. Goat soap milk?
I bought my mom one year I went crazy at my meal about 2 or 3. I bought my mom coffee soap. Now, I didn't, and so it was like,
where did you get coffee soap and goat soap milk?
My mom.
I don't want to know.
It was pretty cool because she was like, I guess you're supposed to rub your, I think it's, anyway, the point is, there were little coffee grounds in there. And so I guess she was using it all
It's exfoliant.
Right, and all of a sudden, my mom was like, I looked down there and blood. No, the point was.
I am so off the hook.
Right.
This part will get edited, but the point is.
Remember those Wicked Sisters? The color goes like this and this and this. And, okay, that's
it's real dope. Support your artists. I'm with this.
Support the artists, man.
Support the people. Get it. And some things are real cheap too. It's not like they're wild busters.
And that's the thing. You could buy the weekend pass, and I always tell people this. So the price that for most events, whatever the ticket price is, if you double that and sort of say, okay, this is my ticket, and then this is, money that I'm going to spend there, whether it be at the theater. The ticket is $10. I'm going to bring $20, and then I'm going to spend that other $10 on food. Panoply, the weekend pass is however much. I'm going to bring double that, and then I'm going to spend that extra double on one thing. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. It could be 1 or 2 things. But guess what? You're going to get hungry. So might as well go ahead and buy some food while you're there and some art, So buy some art, buy some food, buy jewelry, whatever, or some soap, or salad.
They go together.
If you don't, soap and salad. If you don't know where to start in art buying, on artshuntsville.org.
That's a good question. Yeah.
We have an local art buying guide that we put together. We kind of update it every few months, and it features our members that are either local stores, galleries, venues, or individual artists, and it'll link you to their websites, their social media pages. So if you literally have no clue, or you just want to discover somebody new because you feel like you keep going to the same places, so check that out. It's on artshuntsville.org. We have a lot on our website, so just sift through it because you'll learn a lot about what we do throughout the year, as well as how you can engage with the arts, which is, like I said in the very beginning, what we're all about.
Absolutely, man. And I would, if I could make a suggestion, and it's probably already there, but we need. She knows where I'm going with this. All the reasons, because I'm telling y'all, Danny broke it down in 5 minutes. That whenever the next time somebody comes and they start talking about cutting the arts, or they start talking wherever it is, that's all they have to do. Here, listen to this, or here, play this, and you can just send it to them, just exactly verbatim what she said. Because again, it's true. It's honest. I mean, there's numbers, and that's the reason why we would not have anything without arts, without these things that we call the arts and expressions and just ways to think. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that, again, people they look down upon it. So for all the people that are out there, such as yourself, Marcus, Mario, everyone that's out here championing the arts and keeping it going, keeping it moving, and again, just standing up against the forces that are trying to take it down. Shout out to y'all. So keep it going like that, man. So I definitely appreciate. I want everybody to make some noise to put your hands together for Miss Danny of Arts Huntsville. Absolutely. And
thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for giving us this platform and for doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, again, without people doing this, I don't have a job. So y'all got to keep doing it so I can have a job.
We're
keep creating. Yes, thank you. Keep creating, keep doing things and keep making things and giving us stuff to talk about and go out and check out. All right. Thank you, guys. This is another edition of In Tune with tmill. And this episode is, again, powered by the Maitland Conservatory, and we are recording live at the Maitland Conservatory. Please visit themaitlandconservatory.org. Stop going online on YouTube to learn how to play piano and all that stuff. Come get you some professional instruction on things like piano, vocal coaching, drums, acting, music production, and music business. Also, Maitland Kids, video editing. And as well, if you're watching the Messiah Wars on YouTube, guess what? They're scoring the film right here at the Maitland Conservatory. So please make sure that you're coming to support. And also they have a class. Mario, when is the class?
The orientation? It's Thursday night at 6 p.m.
This Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Maitland Conservatory, right up the street from Alabama A&M. This Thursday at 6 p.m. Please join us at the class to learn more about the music business and to get your children or yourself involved in how to take their career to the next level. Bringing inner talents to fruition is the Maitland Conservatory. This episode, as well as all, is produced by Sun-Shyne Enterprises and PalisadeHills.net. Stop stealing music off the internet and get you some music that is royalty free and legal for your podcast or your video or for your whatever you need music for. Go to PalisadeHills.net for your music needs. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Arts Huntsville. Shout out to Marcus Sims and everyone. Word Express as well. For everyone that's keeping the arts alive. Thank you guys very much. All right. And we are out. Peace.